Rose here. If this is your first time watching my videos, welcome. And for all of you that have come back for more, thank you. I really do appreciate it. Today I want to talk about something that comes up all the time when former Jehovah's Witnesses share their stories. Gaslighting. Now, gaslighting isn't always easy to spot. It's not just one mistake or one lie. It's a pattern. It's a way of slowly making people doubt what they saw, what they remember, and even their own sanity. And when it comes to the Watchtower organization, critics and ex-members say gaslighting is basically baked into the system. It shows up in their prophecies, their policies, even the way they talk to members. So in this video, I want to walk through some of the clearest examples of gaslighting. And by the end, you'll see why you can't really count how many times the Watchtower organization has gaslighted people, because it's not about numbers, it's about a culture. So let's start with failed prophecies. The Watchtower Bible and Tract Society has set some pretty big dates. You have 1878, 1914, 1925, and of course, there's 1975. And these weren't just, hey, maybe suggestions. They were printed in books and magazines, talked about at conventions, repeated from the platforms. Some people sold their homes. Some sold their businesses. Some even delayed having children because they believed the end was basically right around the corner. But when those dates came and went, the organization didn't own it. Instead, the blame got shifted back onto the witnesses. Suddenly, it was your fault for being overzealous or having wrong expectations. And here's the thing. Those expectations came straight from the Watchtower publications. Then, when that excuse wore thin, they pulled out the new light card. You didn't misunderstand, they said. Jehovah was just revealing things gradually, or maybe the prophecy really did happen, but invisibly. And think about what that does to your brain. You know what you read, you remember what you heard, and now you're told you misunderstood it, or that the meaning has changed. And that's not just confusing, that's gaslighting. Another clear example is how they handle child sexual abuse within the organization. Publicly, the organization says things like, we abhor child abuse, or we don't protect abusers. But the Australian Royal Commission and a lot of lawsuits around the world told a different story. In Australia alone, they found over 1,000 abuse cases in the Watchtower files, and not one was reported to the police. So, on the one hand, you've got strong public statements, but on the other hand, you've got documented evidence of cover-ups. And when members see that contradiction and they feel uneasy, what happens? They're told the problem is their lack of faith. And that's textbook gaslighting. Don't believe what you're seeing, believe what we tell you. So now, let's talk about the everyday stuff. Say you go to a meeting, and honestly, it's boring. Or maybe you don't get much out of it. Now, a normal person might think, well, that talk wasn't very great. But Watchtower flips it. They say, if you didn't get anything from the meeting, it's your fault. You weren't prepared. You didn't pray enough. You weren't focused. See the pattern? The organization can never be wrong. Any problem is always on the witnesses. And it doesn't stop there. You're constantly reminded not to lean on your own understanding, which basically means don't trust your own thoughts. And if you ever leave, you're branded as spiritually weak, prideful, or even mentally diseased. That kind of language isn't just insulting. It's meant to make you doubt your own mind. Now, probably the most painful example of gaslighting is shunning. Witnesses are taught to build their entire world inside the congregation, your family, your friends, your whole community. But the second you leave, it all collapses. Parents stop talking to their kids. Lifelong friends cut you off overnight. The official line is that this is a loving discipline. But anyone who's lived through it knows that's not true. It's devastating. It leaves people isolated, depressed, and questioning their own worth. And yet, the organization insists this is an act of love. That's gaslighting at its cruelest, taking abuse and repackaging it as care. So why can't we count how many times Watchtower has gaslighted people? Because it's not a list of mistakes. It's not a handful of lies. It's a culture. It's everywhere. It's in the literature. It's in the meetings. It's in the way members are taught to see themselves. It builds over time, years, even decades. And it's a war of attrition, slow, steady pressure that wears people down until they stop trusting themselves and only trust the organization.
So the events unfolding around us are making clearer than ever that we're living in the final part of the last days, undoubtedly the final part of the final part of the last days, shortly before the last day of the last days.
That's why so many people who leave describe it like waking up from a fog. For years, you've been told you're the problem, your doubts, your memory, your lack of faith. But in reality, it was never you. It was the system. So when people ask, how many times has the Watchtower organization gaslighted all witnesses? The truth is, you can't count it, because it's not about numbers. It's about a pattern, a deliberate way of keeping people controlled by making them distrust themselves. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned to the end to see what someone in New York has to say. And please, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons to help this video go out to a larger audience, algorithms and all. And please, take care of yourselves, everyone. You stay strong, and you do not let those men, whoever they are in the moment with the ever-changing governing body, you do not let them win. Thank you for watching.
So just as daylight grows brighter and brighter gradually, a proper understanding of Bible truths comes gradually, as we need it and as we are able to absorb it and use it. And we appreciate that, don't we? It's easier on our eyes when literal light gets brighter gradually. Well, knowing this, then, we are not embarrassed about adjustments that are made, nor is an apology needed for not getting it exactly right previously. We understand this is how Jehovah operates. But even still, it is released and made known at a pace that we can absorb, that we can handle, and that we can use.